So this is just in case you guys wonder about the trial that I'm taking part in. I just thought it was kind of not funny, but like, what a turn of events. Right after I signed up and went in for my first visit for the vaccine trial that I'm doing. So basically, I don't know whether I'm in the placebo group or that received the actual vaccine, but it was on a Monday that I got the first dose of whatever I got. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, I was feeling nauseous, and I figured that was just side effects from the vaccine, or just things I was feeling from that. And then after that, I felt a little bit better until Sunday came around. On Sunday, I had gone to work. I didn't really feel anything at first. Then I was wearing my mask at work, and when I got there, I was opening, so there wasn't really anyone around. And I don't think we had customers for the first couple hours that I was there. So for some reason I thought maybe it's because it was hot and I had the mask on. I just felt like I needed to catch some air. I took my mask down while I was around anybody so I could breathe a little bit better. And I don't know why, I just thought it was the mask that was making me feel that way. And so I kept my mask on while I was around other people. And I kind of just pushed it off because I didn't think it was anything. Then later, the next day, I started feeling like sick with a sore throat. I've had congestion, but I thought it was just a cold. So since I was part of that trial, I got a call from them since I had just recently gotten my first dose. They were checking up on my symptoms, and they, when I told them about being sick, they said I should go in and get tested, so go in for a sick visit. So I went in, and they did, like, I really didn't, like, I thought it was just, just a cold. So I went in on Tuesday to get tested, and I had to give them, they took 4 tubes of blood and 3 different nasal swabs. And it was weird because it wasn't until then that I started to worry. During my visit, after they drew the blood and I did my swabs and everything, I was in the middle of trying to collect a spit sample, and out of nowhere, I just started feeling so bad, terrible, I didn't even know what just came over me. And so the nurse had me lay down, and for a second I was laying down, and then I felt the urge to throw up. And that's not very normal with me because I don't usually throw up. If I feel nausea, I just don't. But she walked me over to the trash can, and so I just threw up so much. And then I started getting all clammy, and and they had me lay down. I was shaking, and so it was pretty bad. And then the next thing I knew, the next day, they called me and told me that I was positive for COVID. The nurse had initially told, the doctor before had told me that, I think she meant like even if it was the real vaccine and not the placebo, I would still need that second dose because it's supposed to be a dose on the first day and then a booster shot on the 29th day. So they told me I would probably need that for like to have protection from it. And so I just thought it was like, I don't know, just crazy the way things turned out. And after that, I had, it felt really weird to breathe. Like it almost burned my nostrils. And I was just constantly feeling nauseous. And at some points, I didn't even want to get out of bed because it was just so bad. I kept having so many, like, it's a big stomach problems, and just like breathing made me nauseous. Just anything at all made me so nauseous. I felt so sick, and the cough and all those things weren't so bad. They weren't the most uncomfortable. It was just my breathing and my nausea, like constant non-stop nausea the whole entire time. And I've never felt so bad before. Like anytime I've been sick, I've never felt that way. And just really think that it's important for people not to ignore anything that feels out of the ordinary. If you feel like you have any kind of trouble breathing and maybe you want to attribute it to the masks, just check, because I don't care how much it hurts. I know a lot of people don't want to get tested because they think it hurts. It's still important for you to get out there and get tested, because you never know. You could be asymptomatic, which my fiance was this whole time. He didn't really feel anything. He got one nosebleed, but he thought it was just because he was hot. And he just didn't get a cough or a sore throat or anything. He's just normal. So even he thought he didn't have it, but he tested and, he did. So it's just very important for everybody to, wear their masks and wash their hands. Make sure you're not going out unless you have to. Yeah, just keep in mind that maybe you won't have symptoms, but you can pass it on to a lot of other people that will be much worse. Like in my house, we had different range of symptoms. Like my fiance's brother, he had a cough and he had, runny nose, but he didn't have all the nausea. And I think he had like some of the same problems with breathing, but his weren't so bad. Like for me, it just felt so bad that I couldn't stand to be awake most of the time. Anything would make me so nauseous, and I tried, drinking tea, drinking water and all that stuff, and I just couldn't wait for my recovery to come because it was just horrible. And it's important not only to protect people's lives, but also I wouldn't wish anybody the symptoms that I had. I don't have underlying conditions, and I still had it, worse than my fiance. He didn't have anything. So people can go around and be spreading it to others that will have the worst symptoms, and they could even be hospitalized. So it's important that if you even suspect, if you notice anything at all out of the ordinary, for you to go get tested and isolate yourself if you are sick. Even if you've been in contact with somebody and you don't feel anything, it's better to be safe than sorry. It's actually been almost 2 weeks since I first felt my symptoms, and I'm still dealing with like terrible headaches, fevers, and still a little bit of nausea. And I hate it, so please guys, be careful out there. Stay safe, stay healthy, and make sure you tell your loved ones how much you love them always.